Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at a scenario where Oman forms an empire. Why Oman? Well, today I spun a wheel and that wheel has the name of every country in the world in it, and today it landed on Oman. Welcome to the Empire series. In this video, Oman will be invading other countries in order to get stronger and bigger and better, and you know the drill. So let's get into this. The first thing that's gonna happen in this scenario is Oman taking advantage of the geopolitical situation in the Middle East. That's how all the Middle Eastern countries form the empires in the videos. So what they're gonna do is join the Western Bloc. Oman is a formerly more or less neutral country. I think it does have ties to Israel, or maybe not, I'm not sure. Well, anyways, they are going to ally up with these guys. Like, I might be forgetting some countries, like here and where. I might make mistakes, no one's perfect. But like, yeah, I'm not forcing everyone to join a team. Like Indonesia, pretty neutral, you know, like Iraq and Syria, like we don't, like the geopolitical situation here is very complicated. I mean, Syria just overthrew a government who I think would be like on the Russian side, but we could be wrong. Again, we're not forcing any countries to join a team. Like, if all these white countries like Brazil, they like, if they were forced to choose a team, I guess they would like join the red side. And I don't know why I'm putting the good guys on the red side, because I usually put the bad guys, but it's okay. They would, like, if everyone was forced into joining a team, it would be like, yeah. Oh, actually, these would be, and like Haiti, I don't know the geopolitical situation in Haiti. They've been governmentless for like 40 years, right? I don't know what's going on there, so we're not sure what would happen. But like the rest of South America would probably choose the American side overall. Again, like Paraguay is a country I have no idea about. Like, I don't know. You know, we're gonna leave this white. But like, again, I think it would join this light red side. And like South Africa, if it was forced into joining a team, I guess it would join the American side. Like Morocco, like Egypt. But I don't know like these other ones. I'm not sure. I'm not too good at that. And like, I guess Iraq would be this color. Kuwait would be this color. Bahrain probably, I think, this color. I think that Nepal and Bhutan would be, you know, of course Mongolia is just smashed between the two blue giants. So, you know, even though Myanmar is like stuck right now, the geopolitical situation over there is crazy. I think it would be like this. And I have no idea about Indonesia. Anyways, we're not making a World War III video. We'll just leave it till here, but like, let's not force every country to join a team yet, like today. Anyways, here is Oman, and they are going to ally up with the West, aka the Americans. And as you can see, Saudi Arabia are like a major player against Iran and Yemen, their most hated neighbors. It's not really a neighbor, Iran, but you know, the Persian Gulf. And Yemen is pretty hated. And like Saudi Arabia is doing something with Yemen. I think they occupy some of it, but let's say they don't yet. And so Saudi Arabia and Oman are gonna join the same team to declare war on Yemen and invade it and free it from the Houthis and make it safe. And make it stop bombarding stuff in Israel and American and stuff and EU, NATO ships over here. Or is it in the Suez? No, I think it's here. Anyways, doesn't matter. They are going to go declare war on Yemen. All these other countries are gonna stay neutral, and there's no one to defend Yemen. Like, you know, Iran is sending suicide bombers and everything to like the Houthis as a last straw, but the Houthis are like, you know, on one side you've got Saudi Arabia and Oman, who are rich from oil, and like Iran too, but you know, they're not as strong as Yemen. And so an invasion starts from the east by Oman's prepared troops ready to invade and to stop terrorism, and troops from Saudi Arabia over here too. They are going to target major cities everywhere, and they're doing really good. And like a lot of Saudi things are like getting bombarded and destroyed and aimed at by Houthis and the Iranians, but like, you know, you can't beat, yeah. Anyways, this island full of baobab trees in the south gets hopped by Oman, and they open it to the world because like that's one of the wonders of the world that you can't really go to because it's kind of dangerous at the moment. Anyways, like this part is like pretty easy. Now you got all the terrorists and stuff, so it might take as long as Israel's operation in Gaza is taking, and like it's probably gonna take years, maybe a year or so or more. I don't know, you never know, but Iran is shooting it with supplies and problematic things, and like at the end, like it just gets fully destroyed. And in this peace treaty, Oman and Saudi Arabia split Yemen in the middle, like between a seasonal river that exists over here, and Oman is like really close with Saudi Arabia right now, because like, yeah, and Saudi Arabia just don't take everything, because like they don't want people to be like, yeah, Saudi Arabia just like took most of Yemen, even though they're saying like they just take Yemen. But you know, in the beginning, what was this place? Just a place colonized by the British. Nothing like real. Like, where does Jordan come from? Like the Jordan River, yeah, but like this place has never existed as a country. They just gave it to like crown and gave it independence, you know. Anyways, you have Saudi Arabia as a ally, and so bam, you got a new Saudi Arabia with the ashes of Yemen and a new Oman. Next thing that's gonna happen is people criticizing Oman and Saudi Arabia. Oman used the excuse that the British just came and they took like all this land for themselves. Like, if anything, it's their fault, and the British are like, can you stop trying to pin everything on me? Like, it's been like 100 years, you done, but like it's a valid reason to use, and it's an excuse, but you know. Anyways, let's hope these people are nice. If you have never heard of Oman in your life, that's because Oman is a very like humble and private country. Like, you know, they have a lot of money from oil and everything because they're literally here, so you know, but they don't spend it on making like Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Doha or Riyadh or everything, you know, like so famous. They spend it on themselves, and they don't really spend it, they keep it, and they're smart with their money, and so I respect it. But the next thing that they're gonna do, they're gonna go with Saudi Arabia, and like, you know, meetings, they have to meet and talk about stuff like, hey, my favorite ally. So like, you know, the UAE, they're like close to us, I guess, a bit, but like, you know, I don't know, we could like expand and be stronger. So like Saudi Arabia is like, well, I'm afraid we won't be allowed to do that, but you know, they end up coming to a conclusion that they would send an ultimatum over to the United Arab Emirates, splitting the country in the middle. I mean, not in the middle, but like Saudi Arabia would get a lot of the oil fields, but Oman would get cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So fair for both, and plus this land is bigger, so fair for both. And the UAE like declined. They're like, what else could we do? Like, you know, why are we getting forced into giving away this much land for no reason? What's your reason? They're like, land management, you know. They're like, yeah, let's make this line more equal though. Okay, now it's a bit better. Anyways, the UAE like say no, and at the end, both countries declare war on the UAE, and like, this is not frowned upon. Everyone knows what's going on. Let me fix this horrible border. Anyways, it results in war. They get their prepared military to like, you know, wipe off this northern exclave and like do something in Oman and try something in Saudi Arabia. They even connect with Qatar, who supply them with stuff from Iran too, and Iran, as you can see over there, they're very close, and they're supplying the UAE too, who used to hate them pretty much. Anyways, they're getting supplied, and they're getting power power and stronger, but that's not enough to counter Oman and Saudi Arabia. Just, yeah, you lost all you got. And from their side, Saudi Arabia started and they capture all the special oil fields, and they get a longer border with Oman over here in the east. Anyways, Oman can do some pushing over here. They managed to reconnect with their exclave and capture it back. Cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi are evacuated, and the people like to an artificial island while the people there like fight, but you know, nothing much happens, even though Iran just poured billions of dollars into this. Unfortunately for them, the United Arab Emirates are split between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Oman, which is probably a kingdom too. Anyways, here's what you've got. You've got a huge Oman with parts of the UAE, really important ones with oil fields, and Dubai and Abu Dhabi, which they populate with Omanis. Like they invite everyone back, and like they have the same rules, and it's like a really good place. And a huge Saudi Arabia over here, as you can see, gigantic. Maybe we'll do this instead. As you can see, huge, bigger. They got important gas and oil fields in the UAE, as well as a big part of Yemen, controlling this choke point, which Yemen didn't do it well. They shot people, so not really good. And like in their future, they're probably gonna do stuff like fight with Qatar over Iran and Bahrain. I don't know, something would happen, but their kings and sheikhs probably could still live there. Maybe an economical union and political union with Jordan or Kuwait, leaving them with a direct border with Israel. But by the time they would probably already have made peace with Israel, which like recognition and stuff, like, you know, they're both here against this monster, you know. So this is what you might expect, but I don't think they might want a border with Syria. And here is like maybe 20 kilometers max that separate them from Iran, which is lovely for them. But you know, as for Oman though, there's nothing much they can do. Like, let's be realistic, Saudi Arabia is a lot stronger than them, but you know, you never know, they might slowly get stronger and backstab their ally, which would in turn, like, say they're a lot stronger and super strong, and they're a lot stronger than Saudi Arabia for some reason. I don't know how. Maybe make them the bad guy and get Iran on their side. They could like capture this back and like, I don't know, maybe fund rebel groups over here in the south, and like maybe make this bigger. Over the years, they would capture important cities in Saudi Arabia. They wouldn't capture Mecca and Medina, they wouldn't capture it, you know. But anyways, they would liberate Qatar with liberate, like make them rebel, and Bahrain while we're at it, and you know, act like the good guy. Maybe over a course of years, like get Saudi Arabia to cripple slowly while shrinking their borders each time after a series of wars, and making puppet states out of the states they're liberating and getting global support, like a good country. They might actually be, we never know. This is a fake scenario, not supposed to be realistic. And after a series of war, without getting put out of power, they could even go after Riyadh and cripple the country, try to stay in power, smart ways and stuff. They could like get naval landing in Kuwait and free Kuwait, very nice. Make them their puppet state and invade Saudi Arabia from all places. Without Riyadh, they would probably be dying, and you know, maybe get Iraq as a puppet and Syria as a puppet, and I don't know, and they do their own invasions to free more territory. And like, yeah, at the end, if Oman would be that strong and peacefully welcome Mecca and Medina to Oman. And okay. Saudi Arabia is captured. You got Iraq and Syria as puppets. They would of course free up Jordan, and like either they make a new state or they just take over the rest of the territory for themselves and make a big commonwealth of Arabian states and slowly absorb them with the help of the US, one by one. They probably wouldn't though get into the French area. like Syria and stuff. Do they still speak French there? I'm not sure. My grandparents are from Syria and Lebanon, and they still speak French. Since they left like 60 years ago, they still spoke French, so like, I don't know. Anyways, they could do this, or even this, and this, whatever. This is our own dream universe, guys. What do y'all think? Looks cool, but if we are staying to like a level of realisticality, anyways, I'm not sure I said the right word, we would like be at this level here. So let's put the flag on this. And here it is. This one was simple. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.